The future of the Montreal Canadiens is in Kaiden Guhle's hands as he shows that he is one of the most dominant defensemen in the NHL with a stat showing he is top 5 in the league in a certain metric. We'll be talking about that, plus Coach Marty speaks out about the team's amazing performance against Vegas, plus a bit of a Kirby Dach update and some camaraderie updates. It doesn't even make sense, but you'll understand it all if you stick around for this episode of Habs Digest. Let's jump straight into this, Jesse, and the first thing we want to talk about is Kirby Dach has successful surgery. He finally had the surgery. He's in good spirits, it sure seems like, as he tweeted, "Surgery done. Thanks everyone for all the support over the last few weeks. Road to recovery starts now." But, a lot of people were seeing, Jesse, look at his hat, right? That Louis Vuitton bucket hat. Does that look familiar to you? Well, it should, because it seems like something every single Habs player wears in the recovery for injury. But the bucket hats are spreading just beyond that. We even have Suzuki himself and everyone on the team donning those Kirby bucket hats. But Jesse, it's just awesome to see that he's in good spirits, had the surgery done, and the Habs say he'll be ready to go for the start of next season.
Definitely. And the sooner the better. Not going to hurt, not going to lie. It still hurts to kind of see him gone. But you know what? I'm still happy we traded for him. I'm still happy that we have this player. I really feel like he's going to be part of our organization. For such a long time, I know the guys on the team, when they were making those invitations, I'm kind of razzing them. But I'm kind of impressed with him, not just on the ice, but off the ice as well. I just get that this guy could be a leader, right? I find he's just impressive all the way through. So obviously nice to see him in good spirits like always.
Yeah, and of course, we heard that he is trying to help Slaf with his own game, and we're actually seeing Slaf, like we kind of talked about, Slaf doing some of those board battles that we see Kirby Dach do a lot, right? Slaf is doing more passing this year than he did last year. He's not shooting as much as maybe we'd like, but he's taking after Kirby, throwing the puck into high danger areas. So regardless of whether he's playing, he's having an impact on the team. He's clearly around. The guys love him. We saw Caufield comment on his post saying, "Miss you, buddy." Everyone misses him, right? Kirby is just an amazing player, amazing guy, and we're excited to have him back for next year. But let's talk a bit about the game last night. And obviously, it was a bit late, bit late, so we couldn't really watch it. But, oh, man, things are just going perfectly for Montreal. And despite the loss to Las Vegas, the Vegas Golden Knights, the Habs are showing that they are, right now, they're able to keep up with some of the best teams in the league. And Coach Marty said this was the best game the Canadiens have played since his hire. Jesse, just talking about this game last night, the third period, Montreal's expected goals for percentage was in the 80s. Basically meaning that Montreal had an 80% chance of scoring a goal over Vegas in any given situation. They managed to score one late in the third, that beautiful Suzuki goal off the pass from the point, that little backhand tuck. And yeah, while overtime was a bit rough and Suzuki did score in the shootout, they couldn't quite get the win. But Vegas is the best team in the league, and they won the Stanley Cup last year. To see the Habs play this way, to see so many different players dominating, playing such a team game, it felt like we're watching a completely different team.
This is absolutely unbelievable. It's just been such a beautiful start to the season, and as summarized by Martin St. Louis, because Marty, he just doesn't lie. If he's saying this, then this is the absolute truth. And who knows these Montreal Canadiens better than Martin St. Louis? He better than Kent Hughes, better than Jeff Gordon. Martin St. Louis really has the pulse on this team. When he says that this is the best game that they've played so far, this means a lot. And the fact that they can play their best game and then lose as a result, it's for me, that's actually a really good thing, because if you're going to lose when you're playing your best game, that means the wins are going to come, right? Because it comes from really playing in that right way, and not only playing your best game, but then you're going to play your best game against the defending champs, and then give them their best kick in the can, their hardest earned victory out of any game they played so far this year. Just absolutely unreal. I love seeing Nick Suzuki answering, in the shootout, him playing so great, which again is huge for us. We got Caufield, lighting it up. Nick Suzuki quietly, with point-wise, a very good season, but you can see he's just starting to get really turned on right now just with his best hockey. So it's going to be really amazing to see going forward.
Yeah, and not just them. Don't forget Monahan got another goal. That one kind of flew under the radar, right? Adin Hill misplayed the puck. Something about those Vegas goalies misplaying the puck in front of the net and giving us good opportunities. But Monahan with the veteran move, waiting for Hill to dive past as he pots the empty netter for Monahan. Little stat about Monahan, Jesse, after last night's game. Well, first of all, Monahan had 20 face-off wins and only 4 face-off losses last night, which puts him back above 60% on the dot for the season, which is up there among the highest among centers. But also check out this stat. Puck battle wins. He is 5th in the entire NHL in puck battle wins, behind only the likes of Sean Couturier, John Tavares, Joel Eriksson Ek, and Leon Draisaitl. And man, that's some pretty darn good company, if I do say so myself. He is really contributing in every single way. Look, this might sound crazy, but is it insane to say that Monahan has been the Habs' best overall player this season?
Well, he definitely adds a lot to this game. As I've said to you, just kind of, via text, everything, like, I could chalk up at least probably 2 to 3 wins just to Sean Monahan's presence alone for winning hockey. Because when you're winning face-off draws and then you're winning puck battles, like, these are two things that very much contribute to winning hockey games, And then you can kind of combine that with like his veteran savviness and then his skill is like, you have a really good hockey player. And as I said, it's like, as long as he's going to be healthy, he's going to be a good hockey player. That's as plain and simple with Sean Monahan over the course of the career. People kind of forget the success that he's had before. They think like it's some sort of fluke now. It's like, no, this guy's put up great numbers. A lot of people liked watching him in his time with the Flames because of what he was capable of doing, right? So, it's amazing what he's being able to provide to this lineup, just really giving us so much depth, which again, I think is a big part of us winning right now as well.
Yeah, for sure. It was an awesome game. So many great things to come out of it. Yeah, we got the L, but we're still 6th in the NHL in points. So hey, we'll take the wins where we can get them. But finally, the guy that we specifically didn't mention in this segment of the video, and that is, oh my gosh, that is Kaiden Guhle. And holy crap, he is doing some stuff that I don't think anyone expected. Right now, this is the stat I was talking about in the intro. He is 5th in the NHL in plus minus. Now I know taking plus minus on its own doesn't really add anything, but you gotta consider the context. Montreal's not winning games. When they win, they're winning games, but not by a lot of goals, right? When they win, it's usually by a goal or two, and they had a couple 5-2 losses spread in there as well, along with a couple of overtime shootout losses. But take a look at this. Kaiden Guhle is +8 in only 5 games this year. Everyone ahead of him has played at least 3 more games, meaning they have obviously more chance to be on the ice for more goals. So that, with the context of the Montreal Canadiens kind of results in the goal spread for the team, plus the fact he's only played 5 games is just crazy to me. But also take a look at the game scorecards for last night against Vegas. Kaiden Guhle and Justin Barron, that pairing dominated the entire game. They were the best defensemen on the ice last night, period. And Kaiden Guhle, I mean, he was the Habs' best player yesterday. I don't think it's crazy to say that. This guy is just showing some crazy talent. He looked like he was so calm. Again, people always say they're surprised at how young he is. He's 21, and he is doing this. He looks like the Habs' best defenseman. And Jesse, like, people are starting to talk about it now, and we saw the Jake Sanderson extension 8x8. We saw the Owen Power extension. Do you think Kaiden Guhle might be in for a monster extension at some point soon if we see this level of play continue?
Well, that's it, because we're starting to see those glimpses right now of what Kaiden Guhle can really be. And of course, if he keeps doing that, which, I think would be a very good bet to make, yeah, he's going to deserve those type of numbers. He's going to be right up there, right? He seems like a kind of a team-friendly type of guy, but seeing him fly around the ice right now, Josh, as I know you've noticed as well, that is when we're really seeing the true potential of Kaiden Guhle, of what he can do for this team, of what he is doing for this team, right? Which is absolutely amazing, because this is a treat for us as Habs fans. It's, with Matheson, the mobility of Guhle as well. It's like that level of skating from our back end is something that we haven't seen for a minute now as Habs fans, right? And that's really, really big for us. He's going to play a big part of this team. And, I think that management definitely recognizes that.
Yeah, I'm already seeing some people say, like, is Kaiden Guhle the best current player on the roster? No, not yet. Cole Caufield exists. Cole Caufield, or Nick Suzuki, is probably the Habs' best player. Based on performance, Monahan's definitely in that conversation too, but Kaiden Guhle has been showing, like, beyond what we expected, right? We knew he would be solid. Like, I remember when we were talking about him more as a prospect kind of early last year too, saying, oh yeah, like, he looks very solid, he looks very mature, but now he's showing these bursts of speed, like one of the top peak speeds in the NHL. He's putting up points on the level of a guy like Sanderson, who got an 8x8 contract. He's 0.6 points per game this year. I mean, he looks to be a perennial 40-point, 50-point guy on the blue line who can play power play if you need him to. Very solid penalty killer, doesn't make any mistakes. Like, it's not often you get a defenseman like that, Jesse, and it feels like he's the kind of defenseman that every championship caliber team wants.
It is. He's honestly just providing something huge for our team right now. Like, when we have so many young guys right now, doesn't feel that way with Kaiden Guhle. We're just so lucky that we can have these young guys that we can really develop in our system, but just have this sort of experience, it would seem, kind of beyond their years right now. So I feel like in a lot of ways, for being so young, he's already an anchor on this team, right? You know, and speaking of leaders, I think we're so lucky to have so many. Like, obviously there's Nick Suzuki, you know, Kirby Dach, I think, has the makings, you know, Kaiden Guhle as well, right? So it's really this young leadership core as well that you can kind of build upon, have one of those young leaders on defense to also, you know, not before long, he's going to start, with all the experience he's getting, he's going to start mentoring all these other young guys and really be able to help with their development as well.
Yeah, Lane Hutson might have to take some lessons on how to be a bit taller from Kaiden Guhle. I mean, think about that, right? It's not crazy to hear, like, maybe next year, 22-year-old Kaiden Guhle is mentoring 20-year-old Lane Hutson, because, you know, like, it's crazy. He has that maturity already. Like, when you watch him, I swear, like, in my brain, he's 25, but in reality, he's 21. Both of which still younger than both of us, which is kind of weird to think about sometimes when we look at these players. Not to date ourselves, but yeah. Regardless, it's he is showing out like crazy so far, and I mean, you all know that he's one of our favorite players, specifically me. I mean, I know I talk about Kaiden Guhle a lot, but he is really showing out, and I couldn't be more excited. But that'll do it for this news episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. As always, we really appreciate your support, and we hope it continues. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host Jesse Porier. We'll catch you in the next one.